Hi everybody, old Gare here with this week's Fishing Chums Fishing Report. Here we are in mid-December, and I tell you, I'm getting quite a few pictures, photos of some fish caught the last few days right here in the Ozarks. Crappie looks good this weekend, and there's been some nice bass caught here in the Ozarks as well. Let's go fishing!
Fish and Chums!
Happy to have you guys here with us, all you people watching on Facebook and all you wonderful people joining us on, of course, YouTube. We love to have you every week. That's pretty good. We have some pretty good reports this week. I want to start out doing a little crappie fishing because there's a few people that have been going out crappie fishing are really catching some nice fish. Let's start off at Stockton Lake. Gosh, I love Stockton. I want to have you take a look at Ryan and his son Maddox. They were out just a few days ago at Stockton fishing the mouth of the creeks out there, and they found some crappie in about 17 feet of water. And boy, they were using Bobby Garland jigs, monkey milk. Boy, I love Bobby Garland. I'm going to kind of get off the story right here right quick, but Bobby Garland and I were great friends. We did a lot of fishing at one time. He passed. I really miss him. But gosh, what a good guy. And Bobby Garland's monkey milk, okay? Ryan and son Maddox. Boy, look at this stringer of crappie. Really a nice stringer of crappie out at Stockton. Now they're catching some fish in the mouth. You know, last couple of weeks we've had a report at Stockton that some crappie were caught about mid-creek area and also out on the bluffs. But they're moving back out now. They're moving out of the creeks and they're in the mouth of the creeks. That's what I would look at this weekend. Not only at Stockton, I do the same at Truman and any good crappie lake. So, and experiment on your depth. Ryan and Maddox found them about 17 feet of water. And out on the bluffs at Stockton, I've had reports of people going back and just cruising the bluff lines, the edge of the bluffs, and slow trolling jigs. I had a report the other day, a fella I know from that area was using a double jig, two jigs at one time, about a foot apart, 16th ounce. I think he had an 1/8 on the bottom and a 16th on the top with a pink head, chartreuse body, and just got on the bluffs and slow trolled out at Stockton and picked up some real nice fish. And just look at your locators. Anytime you find any kind of activity, just get out there, and especially shad and fish, get out there, vertically fish it, swim a jig, or slow troll a jig out at Stockton. And like Ryan Maddox did the other day, picked up some nice fish in the mouth of the creek. So Stockton could be good this weekend. Get out there and get with it. All right, I love the crappie fish. And this is the time of the year that the crappie don't so much rely on smell. They rely a little bit more on vibration along the lateral line and also sight. So I sometimes, what I'll do with my jigs, have a jig spinner, like for instance this bait right here. This way you get good color and you get a little bit of spinner and vibration. You know, of course, Roadrunner type baits work well at times. So if you're out crappie fishing, the bite is a little slow, go with that jig with a spinner, and that may pay off for you. How about that? All right, let's go to Table Rock right now if you want to do some bass fishing this weekend. Bass fishing's been pretty good for the few people that have been out at Table Rock. There's a variety of way of catching fish out there right now. You can go out and cruise the tree lines, the deep water tree lines, and do some spooning. And you can go back in the creek areas and look with your locators for big balls of shad, spoons, and also grubs will work right now. But you have to find the fish over deep water, and usually they're down around 25, 35, 45 feet of water. That can be good. And they're picking up some fish on jerk baits at Table Rock. And off some of the long points, they're still picking up some fish. I'll tell you, a good bait right now would be the Ned rig, and of course spoons and grubs out on the points as well. And don't overlook, hey, go with that wiggle wart, rock crawler type bait, square bill crankbaits. That should pick up some bass at Table Rock this weekend. Let's go to Taneycomo right quick. You know, they've been running quite a bit of water in the morning hours, not too much in the afternoon hours. Of course, that's unpredictable. You never know what the Corps going to do. But morning hours have been best recently for trout. And they're running water, and they've been picking up some fish on a variety of ways. Some people have been drift fishing minnows and even night crawlers, still night crawlers, but minnows have been real good. And don't overlook the little Cleo spoons. I like that silver with the blue stripe. Gold silver spoon, Cleo spoons have been working as well, and jigs. So Taneycomo could be good for trout fishing this weekend. They have been running water. Okay, let's go out to Bull Shoals. They're catching like table rock a variety of ways. They're going out at Bull Shoals and using some spoons and deep water around some of the timber. And they may find these fish in 60, 70, 80 feet of water, but they're down around 35, 40 feet of water. Spoons and grubs here. They've been picking up some fish on square-billed crankbaits, on the windy points. Also, of course, the wiggle warts and rock crawlers have been working. And some jerk baits over some of the brush piles have been working as well. And, of course, don't overlook your jigs. Your bass jigs, kind of working them off some of the brush piles. That could pay off for you. I had a good report of some crappie being caught around some of the docks out at Bull Shoals. So if you want to go crappie fishing, Bull Shoals could be good around some of the docks and the brush piles. 15, 18, 20 feet of water. We already talked about Stockton. That looks good for the weekend. Let's go to Truman right quick. Truman has been producing some pretty good fish. You know, just like Stockton, you know, the fish, we're on two different patterns of crappie. They had the bluff pattern and also back into the creeks. They were still picking up fish, but those fish are like Stockton. They're moving out now in the mouth of the creek arms. Minnows have been the best overall bait at Truman. So try this at about 15, 18, 20 feet of water in the mouth of the creeks. And then, of course, on the bluffs, just cruise the bluffs. We've been talking, look for them schools of shad, for the schools of shad and the fish. And you can do the same thing, slow trolling. And you can swim jigs and also vertically jig and minnows right over some of the brush piles along the bluff areas at Truman. Okay, let's go to Pomme de Terre. I had a good report from out at Pomme de Terre. Some of the few boys that's been fishing out there have been going around some of the docks, deep water docks, catching crappie, and also the brush piles off some of the bluffs and the points. And the few people who have been fishing out there have been catching some real nice fish. Maybe not great numbers, but really quality fish at Pomme de Terre. Minnows, jigging minnows have been working there. Out at, let's go to Lake of the Ozarks. They're catching crappie off some of the docks out there, and also the brush piles out on some of the points. And same thing, minnows have been working a little bit better. Good jig fishermen can catch some fish as well, especially around some of the docks, pitching it out, watching that jig go down, 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 and they're catching the fish in about average 15 to 18 feet of water, the crappie. Bass fishing continues to be good at Lake of the Ozarks. Look at Dennis Cross. He was out the other day and picked up this nice bass on a crankbait. And so wiggle warts, rock crawlers, square-billed crankbaits have been working at Lake of the Ozarks. And I tell you what, maybe not great numbers of fish, but some really nice bass have been caught the last few days out of the lake. One other report, let's go to Norfolk. And I tell you what, between the bridges out at Norfolk, some people have been trolling umbrella rigs out there for stripers down around 50, 60 feet of water. And there's been a few real nice stripers caught at Norfolk, been between the bridges. You might want to look this up. And they're still catching some nice crappie at Norfolk on the man-made brush piles out on the main lake. And about, I'd say they average 15 to 18 feet of water. Minnow seems to be the best overall bait. I want to leave you with this photo here. When you go out fishing, you want to have fun. Just like Ryan and his son Maddox was out the other day at Stockton and caught all those crappie. I love to see young people fish. Gosh, I really get a kick out of taking young people fish. We love to have fun out there on the lake. But look at this young lady. She was out the other day and caught some nice crappie, and she left us with this photo. Hey, stick your tongue out. You're having fun. Well, thank you very much for being with us today. Be sure to like and share. We really appreciate that. And subscribe. We're getting new members all the time joining us on our team here at Fish and Chums. We'd really appreciate that. Tell your friends about us. And if you have any information, be sure to share it with us. Photos or fishing information. Go to our email. Email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. Well, get out and get bit this weekend. Really appreciate you being with us. And we'll be back here next week. Happy outdoors, everyone.